Good evening, greetings, and salutations. This is Passionate Bliss, and I am here tonight with some comments and some questions and just some food for thought. Something I saw while I was out roaming the YouTube streets. I'm doing something that I said I would never do. I'm actually going to critique another YouTube channel, a new one, just because it gave me a moment of PTSD. I had a flashback to a racial moment that I experienced as a professional. I was watching the Bikini Bottom Armand interview that resulted in the breakup of the panel. It was 5 people. It was Fly Fi, Sean Davy Wade, Danny Biker Chicken, Miss Juicy Reviews, and host was Sunny T V. I think that's how it's pronounced. But they had a panel on. They were basically talking about Armand, and he called in. And I saw Armand break up a group that looked pretty cohesive from the outside looking in. I saw them first on Jovi Beauties. I called in, but I was too sleepy to get my thoughts together. I was speaking from a management point of view because I am a registered nurse. I've been one for 20 years, 21 in May. My last 10 years I spent in management as a director of nursing. And so I had a lot of management skills and people management skills. And I saw that Armand called into a show that was going pretty well. And he disrupted it by attacking one of the panel members. And this is what I saw. And I'm looking at it, remember, from a manager's point of view, and managing people and staff, and coming into contact with people like Armand and each one of the panel members. From what I could see, this is what I saw. I saw Armand call into the show. He was upset that he had been called a name. Okay, name calling is always bad. And he attacked one of the panelists. He came in and attempted to silence her on her own platform. And he was not stopped immediately, which he should have been. Before any conversation was had, he should have been stopped immediately because he came in and he attacked your staff. I would never have allowed that to happen. And that is something I do know that you gain with time and experience. And these panel members are young. I'm 47. Okay, I'm old. And I have named myself the auntie of YouTube. So I'm giving auntie advice that's unsolicited because aunties don't wait for you to ask for advice, and they don't care if you don't want it. You get in it because my heart really went out to Fly Fi because she appeared to me to be abandoned by every one of the panel members for the sake of that interview. And so I saw people in the comments saying that they switched up, and they did, but they didn't switch up for Armand. They were trying to interview him, which was the point, but they switched up on Fly Fi. They abandoned her for him. And it gave me a PTSD moment, and I'm going to tell it to you because this is why I felt compelled even 2 days later to mention it, because I had that flashback to what happened to me when I was a new nurse director. I was working at a facility, and the executive director, I was hired by corporate, so I never interviewed him at all. And so he showed up one day, and he had a director of nursing. And so, he didn't care for me because I'm strong, and I know what I'm doing. I know my job. Okay. And so he wasn't having his way with me because I was following the state regulations. Okay. And I could beat him over the head with the state regulations all day, every day. And he had to comply. So, so I had to tell him, no, that doesn't go. So he didn't care for me. And so this is what he did to me. Now, I was the only Black department head at that time. We had a staff meeting because a corporate advisor was coming to advise our building. Okay. So the corporate lady comes in, and we're in the boardroom in the meeting. He goes around and introduces to her every member of his department. He stops at me. He doesn't introduce me. But the person before me was the business manager. So he stops to say, oh, and you know what? That reminds me. I need to change that business proposal budget that I sent to you. And so the corporate lady, saw him do that to me, and she didn't even answer his question. She said, and who is this doll baby right here? Because I was always with the hair and the makeup and everything. And so he had to come back and introduce me to her. And she did not allow him to skip me. When he did that to me, I felt it physically. I felt that he disregarded his director of nursing. This is a nursing facility. The nurses run this building. I'm one of your biggest department heads, and you don't introduce me to corporate? He was a nasty man. He was a wicked man. And I don't say that lightly, coming from a strong religious background. He was a wicked man. And he did that on purpose. My coworkers were embarrassed for me. I saw them looking at each other. They were embarrassed for me. I was embarrassed, and I felt it physically. A part of coming with my brown skin. I was the only black face, you know. I could see people get disappointed when they say, I want to see the director of nursing. And my black face would show up. They'd be like, you're the director? Yes, I am. You know, and so, so those are things that I experienced as a black woman being, black female in the South. He attempted to dismiss me in the board meeting, one of his most important directors, because I was black. But the corporate lady redirected him back to me and made him introduce me. And I felt like when I saw that Armand Wiggins interview and Armand dismissed her immediately when he walked into the room, Firefly turned her head to the side, because she felt it. She felt it, just like I felt that day in the boardroom when he skipped over my black face because he didn't want my black face there. He didn't like me, and he intended to disrespect me, okay? And so I felt it. I was embarrassed in front of corporate, but she didn't allow it. And so, but I'm also not, fly-fi. I didn't have her reaction. I didn't say anything. My intention was to introduce myself after the meeting. But I was hurt. It stung. It stung. But it wasn't allowed to continue. And that didn't happen for Fly-Fi. And I could see her feel it. That's what I saw. I saw her feel it. She was stung that he did it to her on her platform. She was stung that you guys didn't support her. You dumped her immediately for Armand. That's what I saw. And he should not have been allowed to speak until he said, Armand, you're going to have to show respect for all of our panelists. We all speak here, and we all have the right to ask you questions. We need you to respect that. And if he at that point said, well, I felt disrespected by this, then you have to say, hey, we're going to respect him when we speak to him. We're not going to call him names. That is how you manage people. Armand should not have, the interview was not worth the disrespect that she felt. And, I saw that it break down immediately because nobody acknowledged that she was hurt. That hurt her. I'm telling you, I don't care if she denies it, that hurt. And then she said, I want to get with you all. Her hurt came off to you as anger. It came off to you as disrespect. It came off to you as, you costing us this interview. But she couldn't move forward because she was hurt. And, and the things, and after that, I went back and I watched the rest of your videos too. And I saw a camaraderie. I saw that you guys say that there was love there, and I saw her input on the show. She wasn't a weak link. She was a different link, but her different was good. She had the little positive facts. She had this stuff. She had a point. She had value on that panel. But I understand that it looks like you guys never wanted her on that panel, or you felt like she wasn't a good fit because, she had a different channel, like my channel. I'm on a relationship channel. Originally, I thought Sonny could help me, but I can see that, she's on the gossip angle hard. I do gossip one day a week. And truth be told, I do it for the click views only. I wouldn't do it at all. But I like to watch gossip. You guys were great. And you had a great vibe, even with Fly-Fi. You had a great vibe. I think it was stronger with her than it was without her. But that's just my opinion. Because, I enjoyed that different aspect because I'm different. And but you probably are not appealing to me as a vase, and that's okay. So if you didn't want her for that reason, that's fine. But I did want to just say what I saw because I had that moment and I know how she felt in that moment. And I couldn't not say anything. It bothered me for 2 days. So I had to say it, and I hope that this is taken with a spirit of love. And a spirit of reconciliation, because as a manager, you have different types of managers. You have managers who want to get rid of the problem, And you have managers who wants to fix the problem, to save the employee because, orientation is expensive and we don't want to be hiring people all the time and having orientation every other month. And so we're into retention, employee retention. So I looked at it from a retention point of view, but you guys were very closed. Even when you were on Joe, you didn't want to hear about her. You told us to go join her channel. You were closed to reconciliation completely. And I didn't understand why, after I went back and watched your other panels, why weren't you spoke of love and you said that we spent a lot of time together. And I didn't understand. So these are my questions. Why didn't the love cover over one mistake, one night, one transgression? She couldn't recognize that she had insulted one of her panel members with the name, I think, Punk. To me, punk doesn't mean gay where I'm from. I don't know where she's from, but that doesn't mean gay. It means weak. I said, you ain't gonna punk me, because I said it to my son when he puffed up on me when he got to be a teenager and taller than me. I said, well, you ain't gonna punk me in my house where I pay the bills. So to me, punk meant weak. It didn't mean gay. And so I don't think it may not have meant that to her. That's all I'm saying. But the thing is that if he felt offended and saying, no, that's what punk means to me, then had she not been in pain, I believe she would have apologized. I think from the vibe I got for the 5 times I saw her, I want to think that you would have been attracted to someone who would have said, under normal circumstances, because she didn't expect any of that either. You kept saying, we didn't expect that. She didn't either. And she didn't expect to get blindsided like that. And she may not have the experience to cope with a blindside like that. And if you say she had been drinking, and I saw on one live, she said that she just worked 16 hours and she came and got on that live. And I saw her say one night, it's 1:30. I have to be up at 5. And she was still on that live. And could it have been the case that she was exhausted? If she worked 16-hour shifts, she comes on and stay up to you guys at 1:30. She only gets 4 hours of sleep and goes back and work. Did she work another 16? When she was on that live. And if she worked like that and she had a drink or two, it kicked in. And she maybe wasn't thinking her best, And so when you manage, you take all that into consideration. Is this a good employee? Do I need to retain this employee? Why was this off? And sometimes I have called them into my office and just said, what's wrong with you? This is not your pattern. What is wrong with you? And they'll tell you sometimes. And I felt like that didn't happen for Fly Fi. And I would have liked to have seen that happen for anybody. Okay, for anybody. And, and my question is, why didn't the love extend consideration to her? You were all upset. None of you expecting it. You were having different agendas at that time, and you couldn't communicate effectively, and a pain was had. She can't acknowledge your pain until she had hers acknowledged. A lot of time. This is management stuff, I'm telling you. Now, we get trained on this. This is called employee retention, child, for free. So I'm helping. Okay, and so you want to consider, is this poor employee worth keeping? And it looks like you guys decided she wasn't, because she wasn't your fit, but she kind of was, actually. But and that's just my opinion. That's just what I think, And I'm just saying, this is advice, free advice. Love. I come from a place of love. I always do. My clothing line is Black Love. I'm Passionate Bliss. And it's all about love for me and reconnecting people, because I'm a relationship channel and I want to reconnect people. And I had psychology classes. And management on top of it. And management psychology, and so, so I see all that. And I felt sad to see her leave the panel. I did. I think a lot of people did. And they said that, but you guys are closed. You guys are closed to her. And I hate to see that. And so that was sitting on me, because I feel like I know how she felt, and it hurt. And that's why I had to make the video. I could not say it, And so this is my first and my last time ever critiquing a show. And it's just because I had that flashback. So honestly, that's where this is coming from for her. If she wasn't a good fit, then she wasn't a good fit. I mean, you don't have to bring her back. But I did see y'all say that. But I felt like a hurt wasn't acknowledged. You wanted your hurt acknowledged, but her hurt was never acknowledged. And maybe you didn't see it because you were seeing the ticket, the golden ticket, the interview, and maybe you didn't see the pain. And so I just wanted to point that out. And You know, I'm always for reconciliation, and wonder how deep is the love. I guess the love wasn't that deep. It wasn't deep enough, and that's okay though. That's okay. So you know, and I definitely wish you guys luck, and I definitely will watch if I see a topic that's interesting, because that's how I do with gossip channels. If I see an interesting topic, then I watch them. I don't watch them all the time every week, but I do. I was kind of hanging tight with Jovi, you know, for a bit, but then I got busy with my own channel, and so but I still pop in on her and I still support. You know, I'm down for the cash apps. You know, I've cashed out a couple. You know, but you know, and so I'm a supportive person, and I'm coming from a place of support, and my intentions are good, and I just couldn't let the hurt go unaddressed, because that's how I go. And I'm about reconciliation and reuniting and reconnecting and people and staff retention, you know. But, you know, best wishes to everybody, to all of us, you know. And it was nice meeting you and nice seeing you and hearing your voices and, you know, and catching your vibes. And I'll catch you again, you know, around the way. And so with that being said, y'all have sweet dreams. Wait to find them all real.